Welcome back once again, Aviator players. Yes, as we are in the quest to try and chop this monster's head, the Aviator monster. I'll call it a monster because it's been destroying people. And we just have to find a way, like a very good way to make sure that we destroy it. So, yes, it's the beginning of the session, and I'm starting off about 5.3. That's okay, that's not too bad. And I'll just be dissecting the way that I think it might actually work for us and looking at maybe from the beginning. I've seen those two purples. There's a 4.37 and a 5.11 from the recent history that we see. And I've been pondering my mind, always thinking, well, whilst I was busy doing certain things, I say to myself, if one would die, right, would you be happier dying a quick death or dying a slow death, but eventually dying? It really sounds like a crazy statement, but I mean, it's something that I've just been thinking. At times when you get chances on Aviator, you'd rather just go for it. That's exactly what my mindset is. Than at times you delay or I delay and then in the end still lose. It's exactly the same thing. But at times you see that when you go for it, maybe it just gives a very good multiplier at one point. That'll be a huge difference. It will make a huge difference. So yes, I've started off and it is not being merciful. Yes, as you can see, it has just been quiet. It really hasn't given any pink, and I'm just constantly checking the top guys there. There's that top guy who's been playing very big, and normally, maybe if I might advise you, the way I've realized, once I see that there's someone who's putting exorbitant figures on top, I realize that it alters the way the system runs, and it also alters the decisions that are made by other people. Okay, that includes me. So I'm right there, and I just got that 4.34x because I was expecting it to get to 5. But because I know that there's a possibility that it might not get there, I tried to pick it up quite early, and I actually got it. I was pretty lucky there. Pretty lucky. But what happens is normally when there's an influx of new players or someone then just changes their stake to a higher stake, it really does affect the system. And I've noticed. And once I see the guys that are coming in with the big figures immediately, especially when they just come in and they start off with big figures, it will distort everything. So normally I've just started realizing that I have to withdraw a little bit and come back maybe when they're gone, when the normal set of people are playing, the normal figures are playing, then I can be back in there. Because yes, like we always say that the algorithms, yes, will do have to play a part in all this, and it will change. Like you see now, it's 11.250 for the top guy, and this same guy has got like the 8.750. That's quite a lot. This guy is actually staking about 20k, you understand, at the same time. And that is, I'm sure, a very good reason why the algorithms can really be altered at this point, can alter the sequences, right? You can see there in the history, there it is. So you see, ever since this guy just started putting this money, there's been blues all the way. It's been like 4 good blues. And this is a point where I'm expecting that the blues are going to go away. We're going to start seeing more purples and even pinks, because I'm starting to look at the time. This is about 1:30, almost 1:30. So at this point, I'm thinking maybe, you see, I just check if that guy got something. He didn't get anything, because I'm sure this person is being targeted by the system. That is my mind, right? It's not really that it's the one thing that is happening, but that's just what I think would be happening. And in most cases, it has shown that it's consistent with that exact same mindset, right? So you see, this guy has disappeared now. And from the time that he has disappeared, I'm sure you can see from the top there that now the highest person that we're seeing who's playing there is about 2068. So now it looks like in the next 2 or 3 rounds, it might actually get back to the normal sequence, right? I'm believing in the next few rounds, maybe 3, 4, I don't know. But right, just checking the history there's been about 4 pinks. There's not anything decent really when it comes to pinks. There's only a 36x pink that is the highest that has been there in the past, say about 50 rounds or so, right? So it's still in that sequence of chowing our money, and I can see now we've got about 4,000 players, and at the same time I also see that that guy is out, like he's completely out. He came, took his risks, and he left, right? So at the same time we still have those blues coming in. Yes, and at this point I was expecting that the Aviator will pay, and will pay very good. And one very important thing that I also want you to notice, this is my strategy and this is how I play. So I will explain it the way I've experienced it. If you look at my balance now, I've gone down all the way to 600. And because it has gone that low, I'm still not going to change my stake, because I feel the next time it pays, I might be able to get something, and who knows, maybe it's the next one. And in most cases I've done it and I've been able to recover. So I'm not really worried about what the balance is on top. I'm worried about the next multiplier. So at this point, I'm left with 200 Rand on top. And then at the bottom, I have already put my stake, my 200 top, 200 bottom. And my belief is anything can happen. And it can give me a pink, it can give me a good purple, whatever it is. But if you can look, I managed to hold on 4.92x. Yes, I was targeting 5x and I got it. So I've got 1,000 immediately. And then the second one is going to go up, yes, into the pink. And I'm just checking what other people are doing, and I'm suspecting that maybe it might not actually get to 15x, but I pick it up a little bit earlier so that at least I can stay afloat, right? So this is what has made the difference. If you look at the first part that I ended up with about 200 Rand, if I was someone else, I would have possibly just changed that figure and immediately went maybe to 100 or to 50, something like that, right? So that is where my first statement, like my opening statement, comes through when I said, would you rather die a slow death or just go for it once, you know? And look, at this point this thing goes about 500x, and it's just that I didn't have the guts. If I had the guts, I would have even taken 50x or 100x. But because of that thing that we always talk about, that when the Aviator gets you scared, you'll be very quick. I couldn't even wait for 15x because I just thought maybe it can go at about 14x or 14.45x. It always does that. So I was just trying to be a little bit careful. But to be honest, did my carefulness then help me at this point? It didn't. This is exactly the same disease that is affecting almost every one of us, because each time we get a chance to recover, our balance is normally low. And it's at a point where we start altering our figures. We start altering, number one, our stake. Number two, we start altering our cash out points, which is maybe your 3x, your 5x, your 15x, your 5. It depends on whatever you decide, but it alters that. And once it alters that, it then gives you a very nice pink, but you will not be able now to wait, because you know, okay, fine, I was almost finished. I just have to recover so that I can stay in the game. But remember, the whole objective of this game is to end up winning, not really to stay long. Yes, staying longer at times gives you more chances to then win, but at times it doesn't. It actually just gets you depleted. So that is one of the key issues that we might need to remember when we are playing this game, right? So I'm fidgeting there. I'm very sorry about that. Fidgeting, I don't know, something just happened and I pressed my back button. So yes, it just gets me back into the game. And right, so when we get back into the game, I start again. Yes, I've got about a balance of about 3k. If you remember, I was left with about 200 Rand, and that was not going to be a very good thing for anyone. I'm sure everyone else would be tempted to say, let me change this and let me go a little bit lower, right? Because I was out there, I thought maybe I might miss a pink. No, I didn't miss a pink. I actually saved myself some money there, about 2 rounds, which is a possible 800 that would have gone. But now I'm back into the game again, and as you can see, I was almost gone. Now I'm back to about the two grand, and I'm still fighting and hoping that something big will come. But the question is always, when the big things come, am I ready? And will I be willing really to hold? What should I do? Should I keep my normal strategy and stuff? So I keep on my normal strategy. I go for my 5x. I get my 4.92x. That is perfect. And then on the second one, I'm expecting a pink. And yes, it becomes a pink. And expecting that it will get to about 15x. Yes, it does. And then it keeps going. So this is where the secret is. I just decided to take it a little longer. I picked it up at about 21x. And if I was really brave, or maybe a little bit expectant of a bigger multiplier, I would have picked up maybe a 30x or so. But 20x was okay, because I just went maybe to 50 from 15x to 20x. That gave me an extra 1000. But as you can see, if you remember, the last balance I had was about 200 left, and now I'm about 7.5. This is where one of the greatest challenges is with this game. To know when to quit the game, to know when to end the session. It is always the case, because there's the feeling that always pulls you towards making a decision to continue, because you always continuously think that this is the time that I'm going to win again. So you always wish, okay, and think that yes, maybe the next one will give me something that is even much better. But one thing that I've forgotten really at this point is I was at maybe about 200 left, and now I'm back to about 7,000. Is that not good? Yes, that's the biggest question. So checking the history again, the recent two pinks were there. One very good pink that we really never get to take advantage of, which is one point that I can never overemphasize. And I always say this to Aviator players, and I always say this to my fellow friends that are also playing Aviator. I always tell them, yes, you say it was chowing, but if we go and check the history, was there no pink on that history? You'll find out that the pink was there. And the other question is, what did you do when the pink was there, right? So this is me now, back into the pinks again, and I decided, let me maintain my normal way of playing, and I did pick up my 15x. But yes, it's not bad really when it then flies at 28x. And it's so easy actually when you check in retrospect and say, why didn't you pick it up at this stage, or why didn't you log out at this stage? It's very easy to say that when you look at the history, but during the moment, like in the moment, making such a decision is very difficult, because things happen so fast, and the rounds in Aviator contribute the way they come in thick and fast, such that they don't give you a chance to start thinking. Unless otherwise it gives a huge multiplier like that 1000x that it just gave. Maybe during that process when you've logged out and you are waiting for the next round, you can quickly think and say, okay, this is my balance, and where could I be, or maybe what's my target, or where am I ending, or maybe should I cut it out at this point or not. It's always the case. Now just check, I'm about 9,900 now, but remember I was left with about 200. But because of being brave, because my mindset was right, I got something. But that something was still not enough, which is one of the things that we all have to learn again, to say we need to make sure that we are at least content with what we get. This issue of being greedy is what kills us Aviator players. We are very greedy. Once we start winning, we get our balance going high, and then we now get excited, and then we keep on playing and thinking, okay, let's keep on playing, maybe the next one. Yes, but that is where we came up with that philosophy to say, yes, we've got the golden rule. Once we make some profit, good profit, yes, we need to do our cash outs and then log out, come back in some other time, right? So your mind will be sane, your mind will be stable when you come back, and then you can sort of make a good decision once again. So I'm back again, I'm around 10k. Who can even believe that I had a balance of about 200 left, right? And having that in mind, at this point I'll always blame myself, because I wouldn't have gotten at this point. The first thing, which is actually positive, is I wouldn't have gotten to this point if I was not brave enough to wait at one point. And then once I get here, I get carried away, right, in the moment, which is one thing that I would love to remind Aviator players to say, guys, just be careful. Do not be carried away, because I got carried away because I then started playing and I'm thinking, yes, if I continue to play, I might actually get more. But this is the point where, for me, I'm building money to start playing. And once I get to a certain point, then I can be able to start playing. So yes, I've got a decent balance now, and I'm hoping that in the next session number 2, we'll be able to get somewhere. So yes, at least we're starting. We're not losing yet, but we're going to start from here and see what happens in the next section. So see you again in the next one. Thank you very much.